Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Frank Taylor, and today on the channel I'm going to talk more about building. I've made a first video concerning dampness in buildings, and in this video I'm going to tackle more about the problems and how we can solve them. So on this table today, on the topics that we'll be talking about, today is my first time of doing a live video. Let me put it across. Today is my first time of doing a live video. So if you come across some mistakes, please pardon me for that. So today's topic, I'm going to talk more about building problems, the problems that we've been facing in Ghana when we are building, especially in dampness problem. And I'll be talking more about the problems in building and the solutions that we can come across if we are building, and some finishing touches, as in when you are done with the house and you're going to do some finishing touches, how we can come across it. And I'll be making some recommendations of people I've personally worked with, that if you like to work with them, this is my contact. You can contact me on WhatsApp. This is my business line. If you're in America, you can contact me direct. But then if you are outside America, you can send me a WhatsApp message and I'll get you the links, the people that I've personally worked with. And if you have this kind of problems, they can help you out with it. So to start off, let me start with this video, right? Let me start with this video. So let me start with this video. This a man trying to break a brick. I think this brick has been mixed with some plastic materials. That's why it's not breaking. But then that's not the point of view that I want to take it from. Look at from the African side. The woman just used his hand to touch the block, and look at it. They are just breaking. And it's funny in a way, but then let's take the message out of it that our blocks are not done in a proper way. And it is due to the mixed ratio. The mixed ratio. Sometimes the cement is less, sometimes the water too is less. I know blocks are composite materials, they are brittle, but then not this kind of brittleness that it just hit on the floor and it just break. No, that is not it. So let me start with the dampness. We've talking about the blocks. So because of, if they are not mixed in a proper way, by all means we'll be having problems with the dampness. But then let me start with the proper way. These are some kind of pictures that I got from the internet, and some people also personally sent me some pictures of their buildings that they're having the same problems. So look at this building. The person who built this house didn't dream of getting the building to be like this. And this is due to some carelessness of some contractors who build the houses. I think if the foundation was done properly, he wouldn't have had this kind of problem. The foundation was done poorly, and that's why she is having this kind of problem. So get to the second picture. You can see from this picture too that the person is trying as much as possible to prevent the dampness from rising to the building, but then it is not possible because the problem is coming from beneath, as I said in my first video. Because in my first video I was always tackling the foundation, because it's very, very important. If the water table of the land is high, or the salt concentration of the land is very high, you can have this kind of dampness problems, and it will really affect the building. So the person has tried to use, I think, terrazzo or broken tiles to prevent the dampness from rising, but it's not possible because it's coming from beneath. It's coming from beneath. And you can see from this third video too, this third picture too, that the person has also done, it has always been peeling the plaster down and always plastering it, as in repeating it. But it's not going to solve the problem. You repeat it 1,000 times, you are still going to get a problem because the water is rising through the pores of the building from beneath. So you peel it off and you still have the problem. You can see it's even getting to the ceiling, and you can't do anything about it. If you have this problem, you have this problem. But then in this video, I'll be showing you some solutions that you can do if you have this kind of problem. The repairs are there. They are expensive in a way, but they are there. You can do it. And if you would like to repair it too, it's very possible to do it. So I'll be giving all this information in the video. And if you need any recommendation, if you have this kind of problems that you like to get some people to help you out, this is my contact that I've put below it. You can contact me on WhatsApp. I'll talk to you, and I know your preferences, and I'll link you to the right person to help you out with it. So this is a video of a friend sent me this video that he has this kind of problem in the house, and you can see from the video that the dampness is really affecting the building. And if he doesn't take time, he has tried peeling it off, plastering it, and doing it repeatedly, but then still having this kind of problem. It's not easy. It's really affecting some buildings, but people don't pay attention to this kind of things. It's really affecting some buildings. You can watch this video too. This is from the outside of the building, and you can see some cracks, some dampness, and it weakens the building. It weakens the building that at the end of the day, you may even lose the building for like after 10 years, you may lose the building because the strength of the house becomes, the strength of the building gets down, gets very low, and at the end of the day, it affects the properties of the building. So this is another video that you can see. You can see from the room that the dampness it peels the paint off, and at the end of the day, it's not possible. You can't do anything about it. If you are not finding out the right solution to it, it's not possible to come out with a solution to this by peeling it off, by trying to paint it with bituminous materials. No, that is not the way out. That is not the way out. Now, let me get to how you can solve this problem. Now, if you have the building, or if you are starting the building, you need a good contractor. That's why I put my number there that you can contact me. I'll help you with the people who are really into this. They start from foundation, and at the end of the day, you are not going to face this kind of problems. Now, this is how you start with it. You can see one of my contractors, they've started from the foundation. After the first block layer, they lay a damp-proof material on it. That's the rubber. They put a rubber on it. That's one way of doing it. It's not that expensive. You put a rubber on the concrete slab. So at the end of the day, water cannot rise through the polythene or the damp-proof material and come to the top. And even if it's salt, it cannot also pass through it and get to the top. So that's one way of preventing it. So you can see they've laid a damp-proof material on the whole concrete slab before they lay the concrete on it. So at the end of the day, they are not going to have problems with dampness or salt concentration and all these kind of problems. They are not going to have all these kind of problems. And this another picture of it. You can see that they are pouring the concrete on it. So at the end of the day, the polythene lays between the concrete and the foundation. The concrete slab and the foundation between is the concrete. So it's like a sandwich. That's how we say it in some technical terms, sandwich material. So the concrete is up, and the foundation is down, and the polythene is between it. So when the water rises through the foundation, the pores of the foundation, and tries to get up to the building, it gets to know that because the material is hydrophobic material, water cannot pass through it. It doesn't penetrate through it, and it doesn't bring any sort of dampness in the building. So this is another picture. You can see they are laying the polythene on the concrete slab, and after that they will cast the concrete on it. And sometimes too, they have to put the iron rocks. They will have to reinforce the whole material after they've put the concrete on it, and that is it. They will just lay the concrete, and that is it. They wouldn't have any problem with dampness. So this is a video of a building that one of my contractors did. You can see the polythene, and these are the admixtures that I've been saying. They've just mixed the admixtures with the water in their right ratio. So when they just add the admixture to the concrete, they don't have any problem, because when the mix ratio is done properly, at the end of the day, the strength of the concrete increases, and you wouldn't have this the porosity and all these kind of pores in the building. So water cannot rise through it easily. And apart from that, they have also been preventing it by also putting the waterproofing material, that is the rubber, on it too. So it wouldn't, even if the admixtures fail in a way, the waterproofing material can also prevent the dampness. So it's very, very important, and you have to take caution of this thing, because when you don't take the necessary care to caution about this thing, at the end of the day, you build a beautiful house and you spend a lot of money repairing it. So please take good care of this thing, And I'm recommending people for you. If you have any problem, if you're outside the country, actually emphasizing on people outside the country, because if they are building their houses, they want to go and meet their dream house, and they get back home, they realize that water is really destroying their building, and they have no other choice than to just leave the building or to just sell it for a cheaper price. So please, if you need a contractor to build your house for you, please just contact me, because I've been a victim of this thing. I've been a victim of this, and I can really advise you on this, and I can help you get the right contractors to work with. Now you can also see from here that even at the columns, they still waterproof. They still waterproof the columns where the pillars are. They still waterproof it, because it's very important. They just don't want water to pass through the building. They just don't want water to find its way getting into the building, because when it finds its way to get to the building, it will weaken the building, and that is a very big problem for you and I. So this is another picture. Someone also tried waterproofing the building after the problem has been caused. The problem was here. The problem has been caused, as in the water is rising through the building, and now he got to know of. I think he got to know of the bituminous material coating, and he just applied it on the building. But as I said before, the problem is not from the surface; it's from the ground. So if you are not doing the repair very well, you will try and try and try. You will just be wasting money. You will just be wasting money. So the best way to do it is using the injection method. I said in my first video, the injection method is just the first layer of the block that's come between above the ground level. You just inject a waterproofing coating in it. So at the end of the day, when it dries, it becomes when it dries, it forms a hydrophobic membrane on it, so water cannot pass through it. So that's the best way of preventing dampness when it has already been caused in the building and you want to prevent it from the ground. So this is one of the works that my colleagues have been doing. You could see that the person applied a bituminous material, but was still having the same problem, because this is just on the surface, and from below, this is the best way of preventing it. So you have to inject the waterproofing material in the building, and when it dries, it will form the rubber-like surface between the walls. So when the problem is coming from the down, it gets to the waterproofing material, and it wouldn't find itself rising through the building. So that's the best way of preventing preventing dampness when the problem has already been caused and the problem is from beneath. That is the best way. Now, I've realized that most people too don't consider the design of the building. It's really important. The topography of the land is very, very important when it comes to building. And people don't consider it. They just know that they have a plot and that is all. They start building. They just start building their houses. No, that is not it. The best way is to get a good designer, an architect, precisely, and he will come and survey the land, gets to know how the topography of the land is. Is it a slope? Is it a flat land? And he gets to design some buildings for you, indicating some gutters and all this for the building, and he will help you. They will help you out, put up the structure. But then if you just go about just building any house at the place, you always find problems. So due to this, the people I've personally worked with, these are some of the designs that they made for some people, and I'm going to show you some pictures that they made for some people. If you are interested, you just contact me and I'll just give you their number. They will just help you out with the structure that you want, depending on the topography of your land and where the location of the land too. So they'll just help you out with the design for it. Now, this is a 5-bedroom house that one of my colleagues did for his clients. These are a lot of buildings. He has a lot of buildings that he has done. This is another one too. Like, he will just do a 3D for you. When you choose one of them, then he will just start the project, and he will be considering all these aspects of the building, the waterproofing and all these aspects, considering your location, that's where I would decide, because some of the contractors are in Kumasi, some of them are in Accra, some of them are in Takrady, some of them are in Sunyani. I know a lot of them because personally I've worked with them before traveling. So then it's not a big problem. But if you don't take notice of this thing, it's going to ruin you, because people just build houses without any design, and at the end of the day, the gutter system in the house is not even allocated well. So these are some kind of buildings. These some churches that he has been building for them, and these are some houses, a 5 bedroom apartment that's very nice design. Depending on how you just tell them the specification that you've been telling the person, then you will get the best building for the house. Now these are some other designs too that they've been getting from the houses. These are some designs that you'll be getting, and they are just of specs that they are of good quality for a house that, especially if you're outside the country and you like to build a house like this, these are some of the best specs that you can get. Now let me get to some buildings that they've been already, some projects that they are working on. This is one of the projects that they've been working on, and this is a school that they built. They are done with the school. They've built a house for I think a secondary school. This is one of the houses that they've built for them, and they are of specification. Now this is another one to a house. So these are some of the buildings that they've been building for them, and these are some of the finished products that these are some of the finished projects that they've been doing. So you can see from this one too that these are some kind of videos that I just got from them, that they are still ongoing projects. They are still doing some projects, getting some buildings done. So if you are interested, you can just contact me. I'll get you to the right people and they will help you out with it. Because nowadays, money is not easy to come by, and if you have to waste your money before trying to find your possible ways to make ends meet, is very, very difficult. So let me just show you some videos. These are some projects that they are also working on. I think it's a big hotel that they are working on it. If you have a project that you like to do, being it an auditorium, being it a hostel, being a house, a 4 bedroom, a 3 bedroom apartment, you can just get my contact and get to me, and I'll get you to the right people depending on your location. Because I've been a victim of this kind of problems. That's why I'm trying to help people out outside, especially outside, to get to link with the right people so that they can get what they want. So these are some other projects that they've been working on. This is a very big building, you can see, and you could see the mixer, the concrete mixer. I always make mention of the concrete mixer, because what is the relevance when we are talking about water cement ratio and you are always mixing the concrete on the floor? At the end of the day, the concrete, the cement, and the water ratio, you wouldn't get it, because you are mixing it on the floor. Some of the water will seep through the ground, and you wouldn't get the mix ratio to be balanced. So it's always advisable to mix your concrete in a concrete mixer, and also, if preferably, you use admixtures to help impede the consistency of the concrete. So these are some videos. You can see their projects, and there's always admixtures there. These are some of the engineers on the field. They are working day in and day out, so that their works will be of good specs, and everything that they need, they can get it from the site. So specifically, I will advise you that if you are building a house, you have to get in mind that the quality is important. The quality is important, because if you do a shabby job, at the end of the day, what you get out of it, it wouldn't be of any importance. Now let me get to why some walls always get wet after rain. This is the problem. Most of the walls, the either the type of sand that they use are big in size, so they cannot be used for plastering, or even when they are used for plastering, the porosity is very high. So when it rains, the water tends to stay in the pores, and that's why most of the walls always get wet when it rains. So specifically, Most people, the people I normally work with, they always coat the walls with bituminous material so that it will fill in the pores of the walls. So after that, after the painting, immediately it rains because it's a rubber-like surface. The water just sip off, and that is all. You wouldn't see the wall wet. So that's the one of the best ways of preventing wall wetness. You could see one of the projects, he was really working on the walls, just painting the walls. You could see that they are painting the wall before they apply the emulsion paint on it, so that when the water falls on it, after that it will just sip. And most people don't know the reason why they do this thing, and it is very important because the beautification of the walls are always also important. Now let me get to the ceiling aspect of buildings. Now that's for the beautification of the building. After, when you are done with your house and you want to do the ceiling, I will advise you to get the right people, because some people do some shabby jobs in terms of doing POP ceilings, and personally I have worked with them, so I know what I'm talking about. Because if you get your POP to be very nice, your ceiling is very nice, your house becomes very nice. So these are some works that they did. I can show you some pictures. These are some of the works that they did, very nice designs. You could see this one too. You can see that they are very nice designs that they are doing out there. And this is a video of one of the buildings. You could see they just did a ceiling, a very simple ceiling, but very nice depending on the specification that you want. And this is another one. They are just doing different designs depending on what you want. And it's very important because the ceiling brings some kind of specs to the house. It brings some kind of specs to the house. Now you could see that, like, they are done with the ceiling, and the person was even holding the ceiling to show the stiffness of the ceiling. So you could see they are just working on the building. More projects going on. They do different designs, different molding designs. If you need one, I can just get in contact with them, and you get to meet the right people for the project. Now this is one of the projects that they did for other people too. You can see that they are done with the ceiling, and they are just showcasing what they've done. A very nice and very simple ceiling for the person. If that is what you want, you get it from there. Now let me get to the opposite floor systems. That is the modern way of now the flooring systems that we've come across it. Now we are done with the wooden and the tile system. So now we are into the opposite floor systems. Now, one of the importance of opposite floor system is it withstands abrasions, and it doesn't wear out very easy. So it doesn't decolorize very easy. So, and you can do a lot of designs on the floor if that is what you want. The aesthetics of the building becomes very nice. So some personal works that I did with him, I can show you a picture. This is one of the floors that he did personally for our place, and I can recommend that he can do it for you. The aesthetics very nice building. You can see it for yourself. Very nice building. And this is some too that he did for a colleague, and this is one of them too that he did for a colleague too. So they are just all opposite floor systems. And this is also another one. You could see that he's just doing it. It's a video that he just showcasing that how he does it, and he can do different designs depending on your specs and how you want it to look like. And believe me, it's one of the best designs that you can get. The opposite floor systems are really coming into existence, and you have to patronize it because it's one of the best. If you need one, you can just contact me on this WhatsApp number. I'll get you to the person, and he can help you out with the opposite floor systems. This is one of the ones that he did also for the bathrooms. You can see he's also doing the design for bathrooms, and they are very nice buildings. So these are the recommendations that I'll be making for you if you need someone to help you out with some designs and for any kind of project. For any kind of project. So I'll be ending here in the video. I wouldn't be wasting much time. I'll be talking in my next video how you can come across lands too if you like to buy a land and buy and survey, like get a land for yourself, get the documents done and get it for yourself. So I will end here. See you in my next video. My name is Frank Taylor. Subscribe, like and share. Bye bye. Thanks.